Hey guys, welcome to another weekly astrology report from Astrology in the Wild. My name is Key, and I just wanted to start off the week by showing you some nature. This is a beautiful sage that grows here on our land, and it takes a long time to grow, so we don't really touch it. And there's lots of dead things and live things. I'm in front of this big dead tree. So, wanted to start off by saying thank you for watching. And if you would please like or subscribe so that you can help me out. And in turn, I will help you understand what the heck is going on. Hi, nice to see you. It is a glorious day to get together and talk about what is going to be happening this week. Today, as you're watching this on Wednesday, it is a full moon in Capricorn. And when we look at astrology, especially evolutionary astrology, we look at the rulership of where the sun and the moon is. So the sun is in Cancer, and Cancer normally rules the moon. The moon rules Cancer, Cancer rules the moon. They love each other. And then with the moon in Capricorn, Capricorn rules Saturn, Saturn rules Capricorn. So we'll be talking about Saturn and the moon, and its interplay with a couple different other planets that are kind of encouraging a lot of soul growth. Let's see here. Let's get started. So we talked about the moon in Capricorn, the sun in Cancer. So what is actually happening here is where the moon is placed and where the sun is placed. They are in opposite but mutual reception. They're in a very favorable aspect that really helps you to rise up to the occasion. And with that, as the moon is full today, Venus is going to be in Gemini, and Venus is squaring Neptune, and so we are probably consuming quite a bit in order to not really numb out, but really understand fully what we're walking into. Now, this is full of cardinal energy. When we pull the chart and everything is said and done, everything is in this cardinal beginning, refreshing. But again, like I said last week, it's so much more different. And the difference is that, like, the elation for what's about to come is here, yet at a certain level, you may not feel settled within it, so you're kind of going back and forth and maybe having conversations over and over again about particular ideas because maybe it's not solidified, maybe it's not really in your body yet. And so I encourage you to sit for a couple moments if you can and just see what areas of your body are really on fire, with Jupiter in Aries, creating more of this cardinality with the sun and the moon perfectly opposite to each other. There is a lot of fire energy being brought to the surface. Now, let's talk about Saturn. Saturn will be placed in the 5th house of fire, Leo. And so with that Aries energy, there is this opportunity for us to really, wherever Saturn is, it tends to, some people say it hurts something, but what I tend to think is that it represents where time is up and where we have to quickly, maybe not quickly, but sometimes quickly assess if it's working. Because the idea that around all of the changes is this idea of like legacy. You know what I mean? You and I and a lot of other creative individuals are making things that are outside of our realm, right? And we are paying homage to all of the lineages that we have been learning from, and really giving credit to some of the teachers that we've learned a lot of things from. And so what happens after you've started to learn and really starting to absorb the new knowledge, what comes after that is, what will you do with what you've learned? Do you keep it to yourself? Do you improve just yourself, or do you share that knowledge with your children? Does that become something that you teach? The energy for me really is pointing to, you're ready. Stop thinking that you're not ready. And this energy is totally cool with you jumping, because you've already been made aware of what it is that works and what doesn't. So the fear that you might be feeling is most definitely manufactured. I'll be reading like a little excerpt from The Mastery of Love by Don Miguel Ruiz. We have a little triple pack, and this came in with it. I suggest that this be something that you add. It's a practical guide to the art of relationship, this one. And a lot of conversation has been made around fear and why it is we do what we do, why it is we're motivated by particular things in our lives. Why is it that we're triggered to stand up, rise up, and be an activist or an agent of change? You know, as you're being faced with, these challenges that are coming up, they're coming quickly. They are not exactly this very slow and steady process. And so I just see that there, as you're going through these little tests, you're seeing where there are lacks or gaps within the system. And it's important to be discerning about what it is you are trying to change within that system, or how you're trying to be in it. I'll say that because not everything is your business. Not everything is yours to handle. I know you probably have a lot of ideas and things shooting and firing everywhere. However, maybe there is something to learn from this, but maybe it's not fully yours to keep. Maybe that's someone else's thing. So be very discerning about all of these things that are coming up, and the things that anger you to want to rise up and solve the problem. Choose your battles wisely. And I'll lead that into saying that Mars is in Taurus. And Mars represents our battles in life. It represents our core strengths, and truly, what effective weapons we'll be using to affect the survival, to increase our comfort, to make us feel like we're going to live another day. It's survival, and that's really being shown to us right now. How are we going to survive and in the best way possible, and so that we can be happy and feel good? That's a normal thing that we want to feel. And so the battles that we have really all been facing are around, of course, everything that has to do with Taurus, which is money, which is resources, which is food, our creature comforts of feeling at home. And so we're really forcing the gate open to more stability in those areas. With Uranus approaching the North Node, it's basically conjunct. We're off about 2 degrees. There is a lot of expansive awakening toward how that can be elevated. The strategies that you will come up with in terms of how this will improve your living situations are all based around the talent, are all based around what it is you know in yourselves, and how you can bring that forward to not only give yourself a sense of peace, but to also see where something can be everlasting for you. And this energy also points to Venus for me, because Venus is very, with all the Taurus energy, Taurus rules Venus, then we've got all the cardinal energy. Venus is the missing piece. And so Venus will be in Gemini, of course, and it's going to make its way through, and it's going to probably take a couple more weeks to make its way to Taurus. But before it makes its way to Taurus, in Gemini, it's trying to establish these new echelons, these new echelons of knowledge. Are you going to disseminate? Are you going to really get into the groove of where you're supposed to be and start educating? There's a lot of you that should be teaching right now, and you're not. And I can understand what it feels like to not be ready, to not have your schooling finished and feel as if, I should wait. And the idea is to be a little more ready before you're ready. What happens when you are ready before you're ready is generally the universe likes to conspire to throw you things that are of that caliber that you're ready for. And it may seem challenging and daunting when it comes to you, because you realize, oh crap, like I've got to actually put all of my eggs in this basket and show what I know. But ultimately, it's a very supporting energy for that. There's a lot of really nice fixed energy. So whatever you're producing right now is what you should be producing right now. And the reason I say that is because the universe keeps showing you what you should be producing right now. You keep being asked what you should be doing. And those are all clues and ties and leads into the greater purpose of your small part in the larger orchestration of what we're all doing here. And it's very important to note that should be applauded. Peace with this energy, even though there is some chaos going outside. There is this want and need to really ground down this emotional energy and make it stable. You want to speak with conviction. Mercury is in Cancer, conjunct the sun. So you really want to make whatever it is that you're doing very personal so that you can be heard. I imagine that a lot of you have some type of message that you're delivering, whether it be global or whether it just be in your small group, and could most definitely also include your family, giving you the energy, the motivation, the gusto to produce what it is you said you were going to. I want to also point to and reflect upon May of this year. And, I want to check in with you to see if May is playing out the way you thought. So, May was a really crazy month of all of these windful opportunities that possibly didn't pan out by the end of the month. And so I'm wondering, please put in the comments if now those opportunities have come back for you. Maybe just kind of gift wrapped in a different way. I feel like there's a closing energy of some of that nonsense that we were experiencing in May. Whether it be nonsense, I just feel like I know that there were endings and new beginnings. And Jupiter in Aries really makes me think about that time frame, because that's when it came through. And as Jupiter and Mars make a really lovely semi-sextile, they really connect this resourceful energy that we're birthing, and how we're really using our bodies and our minds to create beauty in all different kinds of ways. I've seen some amazing gardens. I've seen people go off grid recently and really try to make things work for themselves. You know, they were sick. A lot of them still are dealing with those things, but they're connecting back with nature and feel healthy and feel good for the decisions that they've made. And I guess, you know, not everybody's going to move off grid to find that piece of solace, but I guess for you, where has that little change been, or large change been, that's really added some really concrete value? And that concrete value needs to be expanded upon so that you can get that fullness and reach that peace. Because as the world around us swirls and creates uncertainty, we have to remain centered in our peace. And it's hard to do when the reactions come, when we feel we want to be reactionary. I think that we want to hold it back and think that, well, you know, I'll just be positive. And it's not about positivity. Well, essentially it is. But really, it's about being able to feel your feelings, being able to react in the ways that aren't self-destructive, but are healthy ways of letting something out, and then allowing yourself to be centered again. Whether it be anger, whether it be emotions of love or passion, be in those moments as deeply as you can, as safely as you can, because what that brings out is calm after the storm. And calm after the storm is usually you look around and everything is in disarray, and you look and see where it is that you're going to start picking up the pieces, what it is that's most important that you have to address now, instead of everything needing to be addressed, or everything creating a rise in you and you thinking, all right, that's my battle. Not your battle, baby. Choose your battle. Choose your weapon wisely. And when we talk about the battle and the weapons that we can use that kind of elevate us to change and transformation, the higher octave of Pluto, when we do that, we increase our ability to adapt to situations, and our reactions are not as over consuming. They're not going to fully take over your body and fully take over your next course of action. It's just something that you need to observe. And so with that said, let's go into this cool little thing I found. It's chapter 4, and it's called The Track of Love and the Track of Fear. And I think what I always want to come back to is what is true regardless of anything, right? Regardless of what's happening in our lives, what is true. And I keep always coming back to everybody says, and even what I feel, it's love. But on the other side of love, there is fear. Fear of not being good enough. Fear of not being ready. Fear of being late to the game. And so with this, I just want to bring to you that a lot of us are filled with fear. And it's not like feel the fear and do it anyways, but just understanding bit by bit which fears might be okay to release your clutch on, and what areas of your life are still okay to leave that, you know? Your wholeness is nothing but a dream. You live in a fantasy where everything you know about yourself is only true for you. Your truth is not the truth for anyone else, and that includes your own children or your own parents. Just consider what you believe about yourself and what your mother believes about you. She can say she knows you very well, but she has no idea who you really are. You know that she doesn't. You can believe that you know your mother very well, but you don't have any idea who she is. She has all those fantasies in her mind that she never shared with anyone else. You have no idea what's inside her mind. Every human being has a personal dream of life, and that dream is completely different from everyone else's dream. We dream according to all the beliefs that we have, and we modify our dream according to the way we judge, according to the way we are victimized. This is why dreams are never the same for any two people. In a relationship, we can pretend to be the same, to think the same, to feel the same, to dream the same. But there is no way that can happen. There are two dreamers with two dreams. Every dreamer is going to dream in his own way. That is why we need to accept the differences that exist between two dreamers and respect each other's dream. I connected with this because it felt as if I wanted to understand more about this thing of fear, and feeling like you're alone in making some choices, even though you have a partner, even though you have family supporting you. Sometimes you still feel in limbo, you know? And so just this last bit that I think was really nice. Just as your body is made of cells, your dreams are made by emotions. There are two main sources of those emotions. One is fear, and all the emotions that come from fear. And the other is love, and all the emotions that come from love. We experience both emotions, but the one that predominates in everyday people is fear. We can say the normal kind of relationship in this world is 95% on fear and 5% on love. Of course, this will change depending upon the people, but even as fear is 60% and love is 40%, still, it's based on fear. I know. I have a kitty friend. This is Lucius Jackson. We have 5 cats because we realized how important having kitties around is. Anyways, if a majority of our reactions and what we do in life is based in fear, what do we do out of love? And so I ask you to look at that for yourself and see what that looks like for you. Maybe you could make a list of some of the large decisions that you've made in your life that are based in fear, and the ones that you've made that were based in love and actually turned out to be really awesome. And so opposing energies, I think that's what this all is surrounding, is love or fear. Is this cardinal energy? Is this moon and sun? Is Saturn and moon bringing these energies to the forefront? What are you going to do that's based out of love instead of what's out of fear? Do you love to craft? Do you love to garden? Do you love to side hustle? What is it that you love, that you need to do, that you need to take the risk for, but that is surrounded by fear for no reason, right? Personal experience, personal thing, okay? I have always run away from a particular thing in my life because I didn't think that I was good enough to do it. But no matter what I do, and no matter how I try to skirt around the situation, it keeps showing itself. It keeps showing up for me over and over. And it feels impractical to touch this area of my life and to play with it and to expand it and to make something of value of it. It just seems so impractical. Why would I do it that way, you know? But the more that I lean into it, the more at peace I feel, and the more ideas around how I'm going to support myself in a really good way comes to fruition. And so while it feels crazy, and while no one around me is doing the thing that I'm, speaking about, I know that if I just try my best to go towards it, it will manifest something bigger than I thought it could be, because I'm trying to control where it's going to go. And we can't control where things are going to go. Make these next decisions over the next couple days as a decision based in fear. If it comes from your heart and the anger is nothing but love and emotionality for what needs to be improved, then that's the direction you go towards. If you're doing it because things feel scary and you need support and you need comfort, reassess, discern. And with that, I say, feel happy with your process and realize that what's happening for you is so that your happiness can be increased to a level that maybe you didn't really see or intend to happen in that way. Lucius is a very needy baby, but he says bye-bye. A needy. He needs to need. And I don't know. Have a good week. And feel into who you are. And who you are when you're full of love and not full of fear. Satnam, Ase, and lots of love your way. If you like the music in this video, it's going to be part of the next meditation, the Neptune meditation. And so please subscribe so that you are able to get these little astrological sound bites that we make with our hands and amazing internet tools. And all our music is made with love and is not made out of fear. And so enjoy a 5-minute meditation, enjoy the music, enjoy your process. If you need a massage, get a kitty, and love.